Before I show you how and why about zero crossing, let's spend a few minutes learning about what is zero crossing. A zero crossing is a point where the sign of a mathematical function changes, example from positive to negative or negative to positive, represented by an intercept of the axis, the zero value, in the graph of the function. It is a commonly used term in electronics, mathematics, acoustics, and image processing. In an alternating current, the zero crossing is the instantaneous point at which there is no voltage present. In a sine wave or other simple waveform, like an audio, this normally occurs twice each cycle. It is a device for detecting the point where the voltage crosses zero in either direction. Now that we know what zero crossing is, let me talk about why we want to use zero crossing in our audio editing. Quite often, when we like to edit an audio to create samples, loops, etc., we need to be precise. Selection of the slicing point is very critical. Most likely, if we are not precise, it can generate artifacts like pops and clicks. To be precise and to avoid any issues, we need to find a way to find the zero crossing point of a waveform. By selecting the zero crossing waveform, it will allow us to have a zero starting point in voltage, so there are no pops and clicks or artifacts in our editing. That is why we need a way to detect the zero crossing point. And in Studio One, version 4 and above, this is quite easy. Now that we know what zero crossing is and why we need to use zero crossing detection, let me show you how we do it in Studio One. You can find Studio One's timeline snapping tool right here at the top. And by default, it is set to quantize and snap to bars. And if we zoom out and have a look, you can see at quantizing of quarter bars, and if we select bars, 1/4 bar, that means it's going to snap right at the top. You can read every beat and 4 beats in a bar. You can toggle your snapping on and off by enabling and disabling with the tool here, or at the same time you can also press the letter N, and that will enable and disable snapping. That is all fine if you want to edit to the beat and bars, but we want to edit to our zero crossing. What we want to do is actually make it snap right here at the zero crossing, but you can see it doesn't snap, it actually snaps to the bar. So to select zero crossing snapping, we go to under snap and select zero crossing, snap to zero crossing right there. Make sure we can actually see the tick next to it. You can also obviously select snap to grid, snap to events and cursor and loops and so on, but that's the one we need to select. But not that. We need to also change. As you can see, you still can't snap to it. It's still snapping to the bar. Can you see that? So what we need to do is go to our time base and here select samples. That is important, otherwise it won't snap. And now you can see it's trying to snap even more. And now our timeline is samples. So if we zoom into further, now we can actually see it's snapping to zero crossing point as it jumps from one crossing point to the next. And it is positive crossing point, so it's going from negative to positive because that's the first point that it snaps to create one cycle. So if we want to select just this cycle of audio, I'm going to select my slicing tool, slice it, next snap, slice it, and now I have a cycle of audio. So that's how we can actually select the first instant of an audio, delete what was before, and now we have very clear starting point. And if we want to create a sample loop, we go to the last one, select again, and create the loop, and so on. Well, now you know how you can actually use zero crossing snap for perfect and precise slicing of your audio clips. If this video was helpful, make sure you give me the thumbs up, and if you like, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Till next time, as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music. Cheerio, guys.